600.
Welcome to Many Voices, Many Visions, a celebration of diversity. And today it's not just human diversity. It's more than that. It's species diversity, because we have some guests who are birds. This is Socrates, and you'll have a chance to meet some other birds with us too. The Indians call them the winged ones. But before you meet our winged guests, please meet our two-legged guests. Welcome, Almeta Whitis and Kim Stahler.
Thank you.
Thank you. The two of you got together to form a production called Words and Wings. And what are you doing with Words and Wings?
Yes, why don't you take that one, Kim?
Well, I think Words and Wings is such a special program because it's adding a very personal just a personal concept. It's bringing wildlife into our life as well, and adding stories and songs and conservation messages. It's a very powerful program.
And I know you take it to schools and you take it all over the place, right?
Oh, yes, more than that. Businesses, conventions.
Corporations.
Yes.
We will speak to anyone who wants us to.
Exactly.
Well, before we go any further, I know we have some footage to share with our viewers about a classroom visit you made. But could you introduce our winged friends here?
Well, Charlotte, I'm holding my special friend. His name is Socrates. He's a barn owl. He doesn't even weigh a pound, which is why I can hold him so long like this.
Beautiful.
And he's beautiful. And over here we have one of our red tails. Her name is Amber. Yes, right on cue. She's wonderful.
Good
yes.
girl.
And then down in the front of the set here, we have one of our two peregrine falcons, another female. Her name is Rhea. She's very, very beautiful. And later on in the program, you're going to see Barf, our turkey vulture.
Our famous turkey vulture.
Yes. And our baby golden eagle. She's 11 months old. Her name is Isis. And she's as huge as this studio.
Yes, yes, she is gorgeous. And it's such an opportunity to see an eagle, because many of us have never had a chance to see one.
Exactly.
And our viewers will have a chance to see the golden eagle in just a moment.
We couldn't bring our bald eagle, Osiris, because his wing is still injured from when he hit the airplane. He really thought he was big and bad, so he went up against an airplane.
How's the airplane doing?
The airplane didn't make it. He did.
It's not funny, of course, but well, let me just ask you. You go into schools, I know, and what do you hope to convey to the kids? What are some of the messages that you want to give those children?
Well, we talk about the concept of the circle of life and the native concept of all my relations. And we attempt through songs and stories and the conservation and environmental message that Kim has been doing on her own for the last 13 years. Yeah. We combine our talents with a sense of spirituality, so that the children really feel at one with these birds. And that gives them a sense of feeling at one with all others. And most importantly, they begin to get a good centering, a beautiful feeling of self-worth and self-esteem. It's been powerful, the work that we've
definitely.
We've just simply brought it out and shared it. We melted together immediately, and we take it out into the schools, and the children just get such a beautiful, loving concept
and
of themselves and others. And we've even had some really transformations in some of the teachers. I mean, people come back and say, boy, this teacher was really something else, and now she's fine.
Well, maybe this is a good time to share with our viewers. We did a bright spot in February, actually, of you visiting a school. So maybe we'll take a look at that right now and see what the children got out of their visit.
Not every day a hawk flies around your classroom, but what a way to learn about them.
We really get to learn, like, how big the wings are and stuff.
Students learn because of wild wings. Using birds that can't be returned to the wild, students get a real-life lesson.
And right now, we should be striving for giving back their heritage. And that's the endangered species, the peregrine falcons, the bald eagles. We owe it to them. Simple as that.
They learn about the birds and their environment, how to use chemicals with caution, and how to look out for our feathered friends.
Maybe you could help the birds live longer.
So tonight, our Bright Spot shines on those who bring lessons to life. It sure got them flapping at the file school.
You are now sounding like a peregrine falcon in its life.
You had them actually pretending they were peregrine falcons in flight. Too fun.
They love it. They absolutely love it. So, and peregrines are the fastest animal in the world.
Are they really?
They are. They can fly. They've been clocked at 125 to 200 miles an hour.
No.
Uh,
Well, wow. Now, for our little segue here, we have the way he keeps looking at me, it's almost as if he understands. We have a story coming up now. Another way that you educate the kids is through storytelling.
Right.
And Almeta Whitis is going to do a story now with two birds, and they are?
Our barn owl, Socrates, and our turkey vulture, Barf.
And what will the story do? Tell us.
This story is talking about differences and how we all need to get along. No matter what our differences are, we need to love each other for our differences as well as what we have in common.
And does it have a name, the story?
No.
Okay. We'll give it one afterwards.
Yeah, maybe the viewers can send in a name.
Okay. Here's a story by Almeta Whitis.
There used to be a time when all of the animals, all of the birds, didn't get along. And whenever one bird would meet another bird, he'd walk up to the bird and say, "I am a better bird than you are," and then both birds would start to fight and argue. One day a barn owl met a turkey vulture. And instead of fighting and arguing, he really didn't feel like doing that day, so he simply said to the turkey vulture, "Good morning, turkey vulture. It's so very good to see you. And, oh, by the way, you're a better bird than I am." And the turkey vulture was very taken back because he was almost like the Rodney Dangerfield of the animal kingdom. He got no respect. And here this barn owl was simply telling him that, "I like you and I respect you." And so he decided to return that respect by saying, "Well, good morning to you, barn owl. And by the way, you are a better bird than I am." And so both birds decided, instead of fighting, to simply sit down and get to know one another. And once they did, they found out they had a lot more in common than not. And so they decided to live together and share a beautiful tree. When the other birds found out that these two very different-looking birds were actually friends and sharing and living together, they didn't like it one bit. So what generally happens is they came and tried to split the friendship, break it up. They first went to the turkey vulture and said, "Listen, turkey vulture. Why do you want to have that little barn owl as a friend? Look at him. He's different than you. He isn't even the same color. Doesn't he keep you up all night with all of his and look at him. He doesn't even weigh a pound. He couldn't help you in a good fight. Come on, you could do better than to have a friend like that." And the turkey vulture said, "Oh no, you mustn't say that about my friend, the barn owl. He is a better bird than I am, and he honors me by living with me in this tree." Well, they knew they couldn't get to the turkey vulture, so they waited until the barn owl was alone, and they went up to the barn owl and they said, "Listen, barn owl, why do you want to have that old turkey vulture as your friend? Look at him. He's a different color than you are. He isn't even the same. And look at him. He's so ugly and dirty and nasty, and none of the other birds like him, and he's always eating dead stuff. Doesn't your tree stink? Come on, you can do better than to have a friend like that." And the barn owl said, "Oh no, you mustn't say those things about my friend, the turkey vulture. He is a better bird than I am, and he honors me by living with me in this tree and sharing it." And the other birds realized they couldn't shake the solid friendship of these two very different-looking birds. And so the other birds decided that perhaps they ought to get to know one another. And they did. And once that happened, the birds no longer fight and argue amongst themselves. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace, I feel our unity, love, sweet security. I feel our unity, love, sweet security in this circle